When I got to CEDU, my mother died the first, like within a month of me being there. I'll try to get that out quick. So a month after I got to CEDU, when I got there, first things explained to me was, oh, this isn't a cult. And I was like, what the fuck is a cult? I'm 14 years old. For a month, I withdrew, realized I was in an insane place with just something so complex and indescribable. It still hasn't been explained yet to the public. A month into this, I was brought into a room with Pam Bell, and two other women. But, and Pam Bell said to me, your father just called the school. Your mother has just been in an accident. She's about to die, but we're going to let you go home tomorrow to visit her before she dies. And the only thing that I could think of was, holy shit, I'm out of here. Like, they had just told me my mother was going to die, and I was going to be released for a small amount of time to say goodbye to her before she passed. The only thing that I could think of as a 14-year-old girl, had only been there for a month, was I'm out of this cult for a freaking few days. That's like something. I knew I wouldn't find a way out. I knew that my father had bought into this program and that I had no voice or choice in what was happening to me, that I knew that, like, I was there. And so the next day, Kathy Prince took me on the back of the Emerson to the balcony outside patio of Emerson. And she's like, we're going to go to Connecticut tomorrow, and, you're going to sleep in your bed for one night, then we're going to go to Yale, you're going to say hello to your mom, you're going to say goodbye to your mother, and then you're going to come back to see you. The entire time, and I was told, you're not allowed to talk to your sister, your brother, you're on bans from anybody you see, you can't, and I also couldn't really, I defined the guidelines of what a full-time is, which is you can't sing, smile, laugh, touch, be touched. You have to remain dead on the face, and you can't react or let people touch you. I found out my mom was going to die, like, the next day or 2 days later. Me and Kathy Prince flew to New York, and then I think my dad, I don't know how we got to my house in Trumbull. That night, I saw my sister for like a second, and I don't think, my little brother definitely didn't know what was happening with my mom. My sister might have known. As soon as I could tell Kathy Prince had gone to sleep, I snuck out of my bedroom, walked down the street to my friend Marcy Gurton's house. I was throwing pebbles at her bedroom window for long enough that her and her mom just opened the door. And they're like, where have you been? Oh my God, your father won't tell us where you are. And I smoked 2 cigarettes with Marcy and her mom. And I was like, yeah, I'm at this weird place called CEDU. I don't know what's going on, but I think my mom's about to die. I just spoke to her, saw a friend, smoked a couple cigarettes, walked back home. And then the next day I was taken to Yale, where I was allowed 20 minutes to, be with my mom when she was about to die. She was in a coma with my aunt. And then I just had to see my grandma, grandparents, aunts and uncles, all these people at Yale. And I was told I couldn't look at them. I couldn't I'd pretend they didn't exist while they were saying to me, what's wrong with Kari? Why can't she look at us? Why won't she acknowledge we're here? I mean, it was insane. And I had to just shut it off, right? So the reason why I'm talking about this is because David Bowie's daughter and Iman's daughter has recently talked about that she is involved in the troubled teen industry. And that David Bowie died when she was in a school in Utah. And, she wasn't allowed to go to the funeral. And I understand why. There would have been no fucking way that she would have been able to explain, or this school would have been able to explain to everybody at a fucking celebrity's funeral that, she wasn't allowed to fucking let people touch her or talk to her or whatever. I was flown back to California. She died the day I was there. And a couple days later, me and Kathy Prince again flew to New York. I didn't go home. I was just stayed at a motel with Kathy Prince, and then we drove to the funeral home. A few of my friends, I think Sarah Hall, Natasha, and Marcy Gurton were outside the funeral home and trying to talk to me. And I think I remember I was told I couldn't look at them. I tried to talk to them, or I might have for a second, but I got in trouble for it. And then my mom's longtime boyfriend named Joe DeFeo found me at the funeral and stood by me, held me, And I was in trouble for that. Like Kathy was trying to like pull me away from him. And Joe was like, no, no, no. And he held me the entire time. Also, there was two of my mom's very close, lifelong best friends, this woman named Nikki who ran a dance studio in Westport, and Maureen Bolton, Michael Bolton's wife, who, when my parents got divorced, we lived at Michael Bolton's house while he was making the album with like Time, Love, and Tenderness on it and shit. And I wasn't allowed, I think I think I might have said hello to Maureen. And then as soon as the funeral was over, I was, like right back in the plane to CEDU. I wasn't allowed to go to like I mean, it was like, as soon as my mother was like lowered into the ground slightly, I was back at CEDU. I was on a table restriction for 2 weeks because I allowed my mom's boyfriend to hold me during the service.